That's a new track by the Vessels. Is that their new single or just a
new single out on the 24th of November?
Do you remember mini EPs when they used to come out sometimes?
Yeah, well, I think this is actually a mini EP.
I used to like that. I used to feel like I was getting real value for money there.
Look for me first in any crowded room.
Bring back the EP, the extended player. We have with us something of an extended player himself.
Oh dear.
That's why I don't win awards.
No.
It's links like that that preempt the award-winning ceremonies that I would otherwise be attending, lavish spectacles and so on. Louis Theroux is here, ladies and gentlemen. Louis, thank you for coming in.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
I'd keep your distance because, as you can hear...
Yeah, you've been suffering.
No doubt see. Well, I'm not really suffering. Let's face it. There are people at home with hangnails with more pain.
You haven't got the fever, because I had fever symptoms when I had it.
Yeah, I've got a bit of fever.
And mood swings.
That's just to change your life. And then you go from there, you want to get some of those patches. Or maybe not. Louis, so what have you been up to? Because at one stage you were everywhere, it seemed.
Yeah.
And then you've kind of gone away for a while.
Yes. Well, I kind of regrouped, and I've been making... You know what I've mainly been doing, literally, for the last year and a half, is stalking Michael Jackson.
Professionally or just for personal reasons?
But professional and personal. I mean, people had always said, why don't you? Who would you most like to make a program about? And I always said Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
He never agreed to make a program, so we thought, well, we'll just start making it and see where it goes.
That's a good idea because obviously, as I'm sure people who are fans of yours will already know this, but those who aren't that familiar with your work, part of the appeal of a Louis Theroux show is seeing your interaction with people, and you dealing with the kind of vagaries or the kind of complexities of whichever celebrity you're with, their lifestyles and the stuff that surrounds them. So I guess in a way you could make a show just about trying to get to Jackson. That would be entertaining enough.
Well, that would be, and that was the original idea. But then the problem was, about a month into it, after waiting outside a few hotels, meeting some of his friends, a couple of people said, "I heard Martin Bashir was up there." And I'd say, no, really? Yeah, doing an interview with him.
Oh, no.
And then so that's when you get the sinking feeling. You think, well, what do we do now? So we thought we'll carry on. And then, you get to the next stop and they go, yeah, Martin Bashir just popped upstairs.
Oh.
And
that must have been really depressing.
And it was depressing. So, but in fact, what we did was we kind of made that part of the story.
Yeah.
So Martin's actually in the documentary.
Did you never consider maybe putting on one of those feathery masks and just hoping that Michael would think you were one of his kids and sneak in that way?
See, we didn't know he wore masks at that stage. This is all living with Michael. Yeah.
And after the event now, have you heard from the Jackson camp? I mean, because obviously we've now come to the conclusion from the way the press has dealt with it that Jackson is unhappy with what Bashir did, and I think understandably so. I'm interested in your opinion on that. But have you heard from the Jackson camp? Are they prepared to let someone else in, or do they...
No, they're so unhappy. I mean, they're climbing the walls about it. But I don't think that's news to anyone, really.
No.
But it's, I mean, I interviewed Joe Jackson. And
this is Michael's father?
Yeah, his father. And he was really upset about it.
Did he beat you with the belt?
No, I asked him about that, though.
What did he say?
He said, I didn't. I said, did you beat your kids with a belt? He said, no, I whopped them with a belt.
Well, that's a distinction that may not stand up in court. But
no, I don't know. Yeah, it doesn't. It's a pretty fine distinction, isn't it?
The European courts might have something to say about that. Is whopping allowed? I don't know.
I don't even know what that means.
It sounds more folksy, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It sounds kind of cosy in a way.
Yeah.
I don't beat my kids, I'll whop them. Oh, well, that's okay then.
Yeah, he's got a temper on him. I thought he was going to start whopping me at one point.
I'd like to have seen that.
Yeah.
I'd like to see you be whopped by someone.
Yeah,
I thought Anne Whitaker might take a belt to you at one stage when you were doing her.
Yeah, no, that would be something else. Yeah, that's more of a specialty party.
Well, the Tories go for that sort of thing, don't they?
Yeah, so I hear.
So how close did you actually get to Michael Jackson then?
Pretty close. I mean, he suffuses the whole film. His presence, Michael the Phenomenon, is very much in there. I don't want to say whether I actually reach him or what form that takes, because it might prejudice the potential viewers.
Okay, when is it on the show?
It's on a week on Sunday. No, there's that no.
Well,
2 weeks on Sunday.
On BBC Two, I know
2 weeks on, because there's one about a brothel first.
Oh, hang on.
Next Sunday, and then Michael Jackson's after that.
Well, you don't want to get the two mixed up. You don't want to settle down thinking you're going to see Louis in a brothel and then suddenly he's being whooped by Joe Jackson. That would confuse everyone. That would destroy the whole equilibrium of my sexuality.
Yes, indeed.
Well, I'm keen to find out about the Jackson, but let's talk about the brothel one as well in a minute. But, we just played a track by the Vessels. You're someone, I know you're very keen on new music.
Yes, I do. Yeah, I like the independent music. Yeah, all that kind of thing.
You were the first person I'd heard of who listened to Sigur Rós, the Icelandic
I like them.
tonal band, who are a great band. If you're a fan of Radiohead or that kind of thing, you want to check out Sigur Rós. Who do you listen to at the moment?
I like the new Bell and Sebastian album a lot.
That's very good.
I haven't been listening to that.
Very good.
I think that might be the first time I heard it. I thought it's wimpy because they got Trevor Horn to produce it.
Oh dear.
Who used to do Frankie Goes to Hollywood and
Dollar.
And did he do Dollar as well?
Dollar, yeah.
And he was in Boggle?
He was
Buggles.
Never mind, he was in Buggles. He was Buggles. You can't just say someone was in Buggles. He was
Was he?
Buggles.
I thought there were two in Buggles.
Well, there was another guy, but really Trevor Horn was Buggles.
Yeah, but it's a really good album, the new Belle and Sebastian. The Outcast album I like a lot. It's a double album.
Is the kind of new... It's rap. And then
Two rappers from Atlanta. Right. Very good. The new Super Furry Animals. I could go on and on. I buy about 5 CDs a week.
Oh, that's quite a lot. We get sent hundreds free to us every week, the majority of which are unlistenable.
Really?
I am surprised. What do they make CDs out of? Is it a plastic?
Don't know.
They'll be running out any day now. They've been making so many... I can't believe how many new CDs... There's about 150 a week come out.
That's reassuring, though, because I live in fear that there's a lot of albums coming out that are really good and that I'm just never getting to listen to. No. So you say they're mostly rubbish.
They are mostly complete rubbish. What you want to do is wait for compilations like Friends Reunited compilation in 3 years' time, and you get the best tracks. That's all you want to do. You know, you haven't got your finger on the pulse as such, but you certainly get to hear it.
You know what's killing me is the phenomenon of the listening post, because you go in and you think, well, that's not too bad.
You mean in record stores? Yeah. And they have the headphones. Yeah. They choose the good track on the album.
And you think, that's pretty good. Yeah, that's only 10 quid, I'll buy that one. And I come out with about 5 CDs that I hate.
I don't do the listening post.
Really?
I would not put headphones on in public.
You do enough of that at work, don't you?
Why would I put headphones on in public? I look stupid enough already. Also, I remember as a child walking past my dad once when he was mistaken, and this was a moment when I'll be honest, and my dad's probably listening, I lost some respect for him. He was sitting in the front room, he had the headphones on, he was clearly listening to the Saturday Night Fever album, and he was singing along very loudly with Burn Baby Burn Disco Inferno.
Good track.
Yeah, but it's not something you want to hear your dad doing. And you know when you've got the headphones and you kind of, Burn Baby Burn Disco Inferno. What's that? So that's why I don't go with the headphones in case I get tempted to sing in public. Yeah. And then where does that end?
Yeah, well, you're saving a lot of money too.
Yeah, well, no, I get them free. Okay, well, let's play. This is. We're going to play this new track.
Well, you want to play it?
This is a band I think are great. They're playing small gigs down the country. So go if you get a chance to see them now before they get too big to see them. Then you have to go and see them in big places. Where's the fun in that? They're called Veal, and the track we're going to play is.
It's called I Hate Your Lipstick, and it's out on Monday.
We'll ask your opinion after this, Louis. Well, we chatted over some of that, but what did you think?
I liked it. I don't know. I wasn't listening.
Well, what's the point of asking?
No, you were telling a story about Russell Crowe.
Well, that's not the point. You should be. Look, here's what we do. We multitask.
Yeah.
Okay. You have one ear listening to me, the story about Russell Crowe. The other ear listening to the Veals.
I can never tell on the first listen anyway.
Oh, that's a cowardly. See, so many fellas can't commit. All right, tell us about your brothel experience.
Yeah, well, I lived for 5 weeks at a brothel in Nevada. In Nevada, it's the only state in America where brothels are actually legal.
Do you think they should be legal?
Yeah, actually I do.
All over here in London?
Why not? Yeah, why not? Because wouldn't we regulate them then, and it would be better for everyone? Wouldn't it?
Would you
what
go
do you
to
think?
Them? Would you visit them?
If I just signed my death warrant.
No, we don't have fatwas for people who enjoy the company of ladies of what were formerly known as ill repute, now would be legal repute, I guess.
Yeah, well, it would. I mean, you can keep an eye on it. You can make sure everything's clean and healthy.
It makes a lot of sense, and hopefully.
Isn't there a problem with Eastern European women being smuggled into the country?
I thought you were going to say hairy then for a second. I was going to draw you up on that. You can't say that kind of thing. No, there are problems all over because, of course, that's the kind of industry that encourages, shall we call them, louche characters,
and
who exploit others unnecessarily. Well, would we indeed put a stop to it? I don't know. But, I mean, it would be nice if we could. Well,
put it this way. The brothel that I was at in Nevada, it was the first new brothel in Nevada for 18 years. And they had regular health checks, they're all clean, kept disease-free. They pay taxes to the government. And they put them through college, so apparently.
Who are the losers there? And really, I guess the people who would otherwise be exploiting these
presumably,
women. Presumably they're mainly women there. Are there men at the brothel who service customers as well? Or just...
There were no, it's only women working there. Okay. Although women come as clients sometimes, but it's mainly the men coming as clients.
Women come as clients to see other women?
Yeah, and couples also, will avail themselves of the services.
This is obviously an area that we have to be delicate about this time of the morning, people listening, but did you avail yourself of the various services?
Not really, no. I was really there as a journalist.
You kept a journalistic distance and integrity?
Yeah, pretty much.
Were you tempted at any stage?
Well, you're there for 5 weeks, so you kind of some of the barriers come down a little bit, but it was more of a kind of an interactive, kind of emotional, finding out about the women and how it all works.
Would it not have been interesting to try, just from the point of view of understanding what the customer and the ladies perform like when they're in that particular relationship, and therefore being able to translate that for the viewer?
Well, I'd like you to see the programme, and then we'll ask that question, because I think I kind of answer that.
You kind of got that. Okay, well, we're going to go up the news. We'll chat to Louis Theroux some more after this. 88 to 91 FM, this is Radio 2 from the BBC. The fabulous Mr. David Bowie.
Yep.
On his Pin-Ups album, that was a great idea when he just found all those old 60s songs that had kind of fallen from favour and restored them, and then did the great photo shoot with Twiggy on the cover, and wow, what a great album.
That's great, isn't it?
You got it, I believe?
No, I don't have that. I have the it was Van Morrison who did the original.
Them, yes.
Them, yeah.
Louis Theroux is with us, ladies and gentlemen. Louis Theroux has won a BAFTA.
Two.
Two BAFTAs. Oh, dear.
What did you get them for?
Best presenter.
No.
What, both times?
What's wrong with this? Something's wrong with the cosmic...
What were you nominated for this week? Best presenter?
Best entertainment presenter on the National TV Awards.
And you didn't win, did you?
Sun readers voted against me.
Did they?
Who voted for the BAFTAs that you
Don't know.
But members of the British Academy, I guess.
Yeah.
You must have something then.
Someone up there likes me.
Did you turn up for the award?
Yes, I did.
See, there
Both
you are.
of them.
That's the mistake I make, isn't
Yeah.
it? They know I don't.
Didn't you turn up?
No. So if you turned up this year, that's what would have happened. Next year, you get it.
You really think so?
You basically got to serve your time.
Yeah, I guess I should be.
Whereas just a still of you in a hat doesn't work.
Well, it worked for me.
You won a load of Sony awards, though, didn't you?
Yeah, but they're not real awards, are they? Frankly, I'd rather them give me a new mini disc player, wouldn't you? You go to the Sony Awards, you figure you're going to get some kit off them, don't you? What do you get? Perspex block with your name written on it. Well, I'll be honest with you, apart from a doorstop, what's it good for?
Look, there are a lot of people who do radio shows who love one of
Edwin
those.
Starr once famously sang, award! Huh. What is it good for?
Oh dear, I may have to play the record.
That's BAFTA quality, isn't it? Anyway, Louis, award-winning journalist. I've loved all your work. I mean, I really do admire you. You know that. I think you're a terrific talent on TV. I'm very much looking forward to both these shows. You're only doing two, though.
No, there's a third one in the offing, but we haven't finished that one.
They're very labour-intensive, these shows of yours.
Yeah, they are a bit. Also, with the Jackson one, that just took ages.
Yeah.
And because we were really kind of tracking him everywhere, and so that one took a long time.
Let's talk about that then. Let's establish something. You are or are not a fan of his?
I am a fan. I'm a normal fan. I'm not a rabid fan. I'm not tracking because I'm a fan.
The rabid fans will hear no wrong against it, will they? I mean, that's
no.
what I find quite interesting about their psychology and of all fans. That they don't want to hear anything bad about their hero.
And he's a quasi-divine figure to some of them.
He is godlike.
Yes.
That's very interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
Rather like Cliff Richard is to his fans.
Is it the same?
Yeah, it seems to be to me. I mean, not quite quasi-godlike, but certainly they hold him in such high esteem that you dare not.
I think maybe even beyond that. I think with Michael, they genuinely... Every year there's a rumour, it's his year to win the Nobel Peace Prize.
Genuinely?
Yeah, and then they find out, it's gone to the Dalai Lama, and they're like... Ugh.
They feel like Michael was cheated.
He's been cheated, yeah.
I think Dali was maybe offering out, I don't know, favours or something.
But I am basically sympathetic, and I'm a fan. I mean, there's no question he's a wonderful talent.
He was a wonderful talent. Do you think he still is?
Yeah, the new album, Invincible, is actually good.
Is it really? See, I stopped paying him because I think, I've come to the conclusion that he's very much a damaged individual psychologically. And I feel that one wished that he would get some help. And I've always thought that the longer we keep buying records and keep paying for the entourage that surround him, they will guard him from this sad fact, and he will continue getting worse and worse in this steady spiral of disease which he's suffering from, which is, I believe, genuinely to be a tragic mental illness.
Mm. What do you think it is?
I think it's to do with his childhood.
Yeah.
I think he's had a terrible time of it, and I think it's to do with, possibly issues of sexuality and race and gender generally, and wearing only one glove on one hand, well, that can lead to chilblains. Mm. So there's any number of issues that need dealing with here.
You should have done the documentary. It took me about 12 months to figure that stuff out.
Because although you win awards, you're not as smart as I am. You're just a boy. Why send a boy to do a man's job? Even a man with a cold. But do you? And after having spent this time surrounding, being close to him and surrounded by these people, what do you think about the situation? I mean, is he going to continue like this, or do you think he's going to find some sort of happiness or some sort of solution to the issues?
Where it goes is a big question. I mean, I think it comes down to Joe. Joe, the dad, is the fountainhead of whatever problems Michael is dealing with, and I think a lot of it is to do with the childhood. And the fact that, if you're an international celebrity from the age of 5 or 6... Actually, it was 11 before he became a huge celebrity, but you're on stage from the age of 6 or so. And
leading an incredibly disciplined performer's life. I mean, not a performer in the way that we think of people now who are kind of... Often, they rehearse and they work hard and they're dedicated. But the level of kind of discipline that was enforced on those young boys when they were first in the Jackson 5 was quite terrifying, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah, and because Joe was a pretty fierce disciplinarian. Well, it'll be interesting to see where it goes from here. I think Michael does need some sort of help. I think he, maybe therapy or some kind of counselling.
I think that's just, that's a given, really.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he needs probably more than that.
Do you think more than that?
I think he needs about a month in a cage. Well, it's short, sharp shock. It's tough love.
Yeah.
Put him in a cage, okay? But turning the tables to him, we'll let Bubbles be his master.
Yeah.
Because we had Cheryl Crow on the show, and she said when he had Bubbles, she was working with him, she was a Becky. Michael used to poke Bubble in the chest with a biro to get his attention. Really? Well, let's see how Jacko likes it.
Well, that's interesting. Yeah, we tried to track Bubbles down. In fact, I called...
Bubbles is still alive, isn't he?
Well, some people say... There's so many stories on Bubbles. Some say he was run over by a lawnmower.
Oh,
dear. That's one of
You don't even want to think about clearing up after that, do you? A chimp run over by a lawnmower. I mean, sure, it's something different in your life.
And then some say that Bubbles got too big and began maybe poking Michael with a biro.
Chimps get large, they get aggressive, and they're
feisty,
very tough, strong animals. I mean, they're terrifyingly strong.
Yeah.
Huge. I met Cheetah, the chimp, who used to be in the Tarzan
Still
movies.
Alive?
Well, about 5 years ago he was. I hope he's still doing well. He was in semi-retirement in Las Vegas.
Because they live to be 150, don't they?
Is it 150?
I don't know.
I've made that up.
It's turtles, isn't it? I tell you what, changing the subject, I love a turtle, don't you? But no, seriously, aren't they a lovely animal?
Yeah, I don't think I've ever met one.
No, I've never met one, but I've seen them in zoos and stuff and on David Attenborough's documentaries.
Yeah.
They always seem so happy.
I love a tortoise.
Well, maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
Which are the big ones on the Galapagos?
Turtles.
Well, did you disagree then? I couldn't tell you.
No, turtles.
Turtles. Well, they're the ones I like.
Yeah.
Well, they're just big tortoises, aren't they?
Well, you say that. I bet they disagree.
Sorry?
Disagree. I've got a cold. Cut me some slack here, will you?
I think Michael's got a turtle, funnily enough. He's definitely got a llama called Louis, oddly.
Interesting.
Yeah, very interesting. He's got an elephant. He's got a giraffe called Jabbar.
Nowhere really to go with that part of the conversation. I've just realised something terrible. It's really depressed me. I'm kind of a bargain basement version of Michael Jackson, aren't I?
How's that?
Well, if you think about the way I live my life, okay, the level of indulgences, I have strange pets, but nothing actually that strange or interesting. I buy toys and I live a kind of Disneyland, existence, but I haven't got enough money to have the Pirates of the Caribbean rebuilt in my backyard like he has.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of a sort of pathetic, lower-key version of Michael Jackson without the talent or the interesting neuroses. And
you've got 2 gloves.
Well, that's one good thing in my favour, I suppose. I've mastered the ambidextrous glove wearing. I've depressed myself now.
Don't worry, we all walk in the shadow of Michael Jackson.
Oh, well, thanks for that. Thanks for sharing my burden. You still a fan of his after having done this show?
I think I'll always be a fan of the music. Off the Wall being probably my favourite album, closely followed by Thriller.
Off the Wall was great.
Yeah.
Off the Wall had Billie Jean on, didn't it?
Yeah. No, Off the Wall. No, that was off Thriller. Off the Wall had it's more of the disco tracks.
Billie Jean.
No.
Night and Day.
No.
9 to 5.
Don't stop till you get enough.
Don't stop till you get enough. Keep on. Don't stop. Don't stop till you get enough. That's
Working Day and Night.
You got me working day and night.
Yeah.
Ow!
Yeah, that's Thriller's Billie Jean. Thriller itself, obviously, Beat It.
Beat It was great.
Yeah.
I tell you what I loved. I used to like the later period Jackson 5 stuff. You remember Can You Feel It?
Yeah, that's a great one.
Can we find that? We got that on the...
That's a great one.
It's got that bit that begins and it sounds like... Bam, 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 ba 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 dum 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 dum.
Yeah,
we don't need it now, Andy. I think we've done it.
You know what holds up is Bad. Actually, I'd written Bad off in my before I kind of went back and started doing the Michael research. I've been thinking, well, Bad was after he went off the boil.
Yeah, that was when they had that ridiculously overblown video by was it Scorsese directed?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
That was
for Bad. For the
Is Bad when he jumps on the car and makes so much noise that the windows pop out?
No, I think that's no. He smashes the windows, and that's on the black or white video.
Well, that's very good.
Which is off Dangerous, which is also pretty good, but Bad is excellent. Well, I don't know. They've all got their
suddenly
moments.
we've rediscovered our joy of Jackson.
Potted history of the Jacksons.
Well, it's good. This is interesting radio. This is award-winning stuff. If I may preempt the award givers out there,
yeah, which you didn't want just a minute
who
ago.
obviously have normally got cloth ears.
Yeah,
but I think the documentary could actually help Michael. I mean, I actually think, to toot my own horn for a little bit, that I've kind of cracked what Michael is dealing with. I've got a kind of 10-word topic sentence of what the problem that Michael faces and how we can address it.
You will share that with us now, or you wish to save that for the show?
I'd like to save that for the show.
Okay, but why don't we just give us some kind of intimation of what that might be after we hear some Jackson?
Okay.
I've got the Jacksons. I found Can You Feel It?
Oh, well done, you. Well, it has to be said, a fine, fine, fine piece of music.
Yeah, I wonder if Michael's on that one.
Well, it's the Jackson 5, of course he's on it.
Yeah, well, there's 6 Jackson boys, so they shuffle them a bit.
Michael's singing lead on
That was him singing lead.
Was it?
Clothed fool. Come on, you're going to be a Jackson fan.
Yeah. Did he even know he was singing on that one?
Blame it on the boogie.
That's a great track.
No, I mean, the fact you didn't hear that.
I will.
Award-winning stuff, ladies and gentlemen. So, Louis' show, where he tries to track down Michael Jackson, is on in, I guess, not next Sunday, the Sunday after, because next Sunday is the show where you visit a legal brothel in Nevada.
A week tomorrow is the brothel one, and then the following week is Jackson.
You must enjoy doing these shows. I mean, I know they're quite arduous and quite time-consuming, but at the same time, there's something in you that you want to get to the truth in these matters.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, absolutely love it. Yeah.
Is there a point normally when you feel I've arrived? This is it. We now have the show. I've got everything we need.
Usually you can feel it. Often comes on the third trip. It's very weird that. And in fact, it's almost a case of when you absolutely got no more time left, it suddenly all happens.
Yeah.
And that was certainly the case with these two that are going out. And the third one, which goes out probably in the new year, which is about Nazis in America.
Well, once again, a very different subject from the other two, but I would have thought no less fascinating. Quite a challenge for you, that one would have been, though.
Yeah, quite a hard-hitting one. Interviewed some skinheads. And
is it like Nazi?
Yeah, they're full on. They're not like no, I'm not racist. Some are like some kind of Ku Klux Klan types in America. Like, I'm not racist. I just love white people. Yeah. But these are like, I'm racist. I hate anyone who's not white. They don't make any bones about it.
Do they all speak with that voice?
Yeah.
Which that kind of makes them
if you've
sound
seen
quite,
the programme, then
cuddly.
you think that was an uncanny.
Yeah, but he's a master of voices.
He is. Yeah.
It's like the new Mike Yarwood. Without the problem.
So that one's a good one. And then that one, because also...
I'm glad you're doing these again, because although I loved the shows where you hung out with people like Jimmy Savile and you went around with the kind of, and you did a little bit with some of the other kind of faded styles of yesterday.
Yeah, Paul Daniels.
Yeah. And they're always great fun and entertaining, but it's nice to see you doing the slightly harder edge stuff like you did with Michael Moore years ago.
Yeah, that's right. It's quite edgy. And a lot of them, I kind of made because these guys, these Nazis, they basically love white people. They hate anyone who's not white, but they especially hate Jewish people. And a lot of them assumed I was Jewish, and I didn't want to sort of tell them whether I was Jewish or not, because I thought, this is immaterial, it shouldn't matter. I live in a gorgeous mosaic of different races, and, where you don't really think about, what race someone is. And so they assumed I was Jewish and would give me a hard time, and kind of, it got quite nasty.
But you're not Jewish, are you?
No, I'm not.
Otherwise we wouldn't have had you on the show.
No, well, I knew that.
But I would have thought quite a scary group to be involved in.
Yeah.
And
skinheads are... Have you ever dealt with skinheads at all?
Look at me.
Yeah.
Do I look like the sort of person who deals with skinheads?
I don't know.
Of course not. You don't know. Look at me.
Where did you grow up?
In East London.
It's full of skinheads, isn't it?
I ran from skinheads. And even at the age of 43, nearly 43, still do.
Yeah.
I played a skinhead once in a movie.
Did you?
Oh, yeah. If you ever see the movie starring Hazel O'Connor...
Oh, yeah.
Breaking Glass.
Yeah. There's a skinhead riot at a kind of open-air gig, and there was a general call-out to anyone who's, various musicians, saying, would you like to be in this movie? Turned up, and I wasn't actually a skinhead, but what I did was they put a trilby on me.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, I'm only in one scene, and you can actually see this. It's a marvellous moment in cinema. I'm surprised you haven't enjoyed this before. There's a crowd scene, and I watched it. I went to see it at the pictures, and I thought, I'm going to look good on screen. And I thought at the time, even though I was only an extra... but maybe someone will spot me, could be the new James Dean. There's a crowd scene, everyone's doing their bit, you look down the bottom right, there's one gormless bloke staring right at the camera. It was me. And I remember at the time doing it, looking and going, is that the camera? I wonder if it's on. And then that's the only bit they used.
Really?
It's me staring right at the camera, looking like an idiot.
It's not a great film, though, is it?
It's a masterpiece.
Is it?
It's a terrible film. Anyway, Louis, it's been lovely having you on the show again.
Great to be
Before
here.
you go, one final thing. In the Michael Jackson show, I know you spent some time with Uri Geller.
Yeah, quite a lot with Uri Geller.
Now, in
It's
my opinion...
pronounced Uri, by the way. That's just a note. It's a side note.
Well, you change your name when you come over here next time, mate. Uri. Okay, Uri strikes me as being one of the most ridiculous frauds in the business. Your opinion, please.
He's a slippery character, I would say. You know, he's a wonderful showman. I mean, I think he's entertaining. I mean,
he's an entertainer, no doubt.
He's an entertainer. And to be fair to him, I suppose, he's never claimed he can cure cancer, or he's never sort of taken it to the limit. You know, it's... I mean,
well, that's big of him.
Personally, I don't really believe in...
I'm not doing any harm. I haven't actually claimed I can walk on water. I'm just giving you the impression that I could do that.
He just says he's got power over spoons. Now, that doesn't pose a threat to anyone, does it?
I suppose not.
You know?
Why am I getting hot under the collar? That's what you're saying. You're saying take it easy, aren't you?
Yeah.
Take it easy. Take a chill pill.
Where would we be if no one went around pretending to bend spoons?
Yeah. Where would we be?
It would be a very grey and empty world.
I take it back. I welcome Rory.
Rory?
Like a brother. Louis, I wish I could say it'd been pleasant having you on, but there are moments when, frankly, it was tense and awkward.
As ever.
But for those other moments, it was a joy. Thank you so much for coming on. Louis' new series starts Sunday week, so it's not this Sunday, next Sunday. We'll try and remind people next week on the show.
Thank you.
With a visit to a legal brothel. If that doesn't sound like worth setting your TiVo for, I don't know what is. Louis, take care.
My pleasure.